Hello, Gemini. Welcome back to Path of Enlightenment Tarot. For those of you returning to the channel, welcome back. For those of you who are new, welcome. I am Nicole. Gemini, this is going to be your next 2-week read. I'm going to get this out to you. Tonight, we will be doing a live feed at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the full moon in Taurus, as it is tomorrow. So 24 hours before thereof, and then 24 hours after. So we're going to get it in tonight because I am not available tomorrow evening. So with that, this is going to be for your Sun, Moon, Rising, and your Venus, as well as North Node. Cross Watcher, if you're here, welcome as well. Discern the messages accordingly. And personal reads, thank you to everybody, by the way. Thank you to everybody who's liked, shared, subscribed, commented, booked personal reads, hit the hype button whenever it's been available. You all are amazing. Thank you so much for being here. And what else? And if you are interested in a personal read, that information can be found in the description box below, as well as the link for channel memberships. And you can also join us on Discord as well as a community chat. There you will find all of the videos. They are sorted and much more organized than here on YouTube. And thanks to my moderator, Adam, for doing that. But you can join us on Discord at Path of Enlightenment Tarot. So with that, let's carry on here. Let's see, Spirit, what's going on for the sign of Gemini for the next 2 weeks. I just heard it's aggravation, Gemini, and eccentric energy. Eccentric energy. Be careful with how you're projecting your energy outward, okay? Just heads up. There are moments that you could feel really good and something could come across the wrong way. Pay attention to your arms, your legs, and your feet. What else, Spirit, for Gemini for the next 2 weeks? You're going to have to stay logical and practical through this energy. You need to embody some earth energy in the next 2 weeks as well. Foresight. Good luck. Let's see here. Change. You're hoping for a turnaround here, Gemini. You're hoping that something's going to turn around. Some of you, or you could be dealing with somebody that it's kind of like bottom of the barrel kind of energy. Like, this is what we're left with. This is what we build upon. This is what, when the well is drained, this is the sediment that sits at the bottom of the cup, right? Or at the bottom of the well. May not feel like a huge offer of something, but it's like there's something there. Again, hoping for a turnaround here. Hoping for a turnaround. I'm hearing making amends as well. Some of you could be in AA, NA, something like that, where they talk about making amends, you know, in our wrongdoings in life as well. This feels minimal, Spirit is saying. This feels minimal to me. Empty room and nothingness. There's not a whole lot. I'm hearing there's not a whole lot left. I don't know what that's about. There's you could feel like in certain ways in a particular situation, Gemini, and this could be in any area of life, that there's just not enough of something left. Like it's over with. The reality of a situation has happened or is happening over the next 2 weeks. And it's got to take you somewhere better than you've been before. Something's got to turn around, right? Something's got to turn around. There's got to be a turnaround here. So what is this energy about, Spirit, that's coming through? It's like needing to use good common sense. Miss you. What else? You know, children pop up a lot with your energy, Gemini, for whatever reason. But, you know, you see this young lady, maybe, I don't know, later teens, early 20s, in her stance there. And, you know, it's a longing, it's a waiting. There's something here to think about how, it's like if I would have known, it's like hindsight's 2020, right? If I would have known this thing, then I would have done that differently. Silence. It's like, I wish I could take back what I said. Maybe not saying what does need to be said as well. So what else here, Spirit, for Gemini? Ascending and hope. Again, like hoping for things to be better, sacrifice. Something here needs to change, Gemini. There's no two ways about it. And it's what you're dedicating yourself to, how you're doing it, how you're moving through it. You will turn things around. Like if something has been weighing on you, the turnaround will come. I do feel like your luck is changing for the better. But there's also, you know, when we say or do things, right, and I feel like I'm giving like a little bit of a lecture here, and my apologies, but this is what's coming through. When we say or do things that we you know, we can't take back. There's, you know, a need to apologize or think about why or how something happened as it did, and how we don't repeat that very thing. And this could lead to needing to figure out the why and even the how in something specifically. So this miss you, Spirit, can we elaborate? Can we elaborate on this miss you for Gemini? Wheel of Fortune, again, King of Wands. There is a turnaround, the Tower, but not without grief. I'm going to call this Tower, it was action-based. Again, something maybe that was done or said had to happen. You may not feel like this was for the better, because there could be a distance between you and a King of Wands. Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, doesn't have to be, but you also have Taurus, Scorpio, Gemini, I said it, so there you are. Libra, maybe, Jesus. Taurus, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, and then you have Scorpio, Aries here as well. This disruption had to happen in order to kind of reset things. It was like hitting a hard reset. You know, think about your phone when it's acting up and crazy. Mercury pre-shadow retrograde right until the 9th, and then we go into it till the 29th of this month. But this is like, you know, you had to shut your phone down, turn it back on, and hopefully it works. You know, maybe an attitude adjustment is needed in something. But this was like hitting a hard reset, and it may feel to you like, I don't know, maybe in those 5 minutes that your phone's resetting, you really needed it. It's like, shit, I miss being able to use that device. I said something to this person I shouldn't have said, and now there's a distance, and I wish that I could take that back, and I miss this person because it's caused a strain in something. But the disruption was a necessary action to kind of like think about the boxing ring. Like, everybody comes in, they make their jabs for however many minutes, and they have to retreat to their corners and take a minute to think about what the next strategy is in the next round of the match, right? So it's kind of like somebody, maybe you, maybe another person, maybe both of you in that regard, or whatever this is, kind of needed to box it out a little bit and then retreat to your corners and think about what has been done or said in a particular situation here. But it's mastering self-control as well. There's something about self-control of the mouth specifically. So what is this about, Spirit? Can we clarify and elaborate on the Wheel of Fortune and the King of Wands? Ascending. You've got two cards, literally. I have two. I think I have 2 or 3 decks that have the word ascending in it, and that comes out again, and you see in the first deck I was using, same thing. So this is meant to promote growth. It is meant to promote healing. It is meant to bring some truth into a situation that is going to be honorable versus, you know, maybe somebody's, again, said something they shouldn't have said, and it's like maybe getting called out on that, or you're calling somebody else out on that. But it's also about learning, right? Learning from that particular situation at hand and understanding that there's another way to do this, and it never has to get to the point that something blows up in order to have this change. But it is for a new phase. Somebody here could have been very caught in the past of something. Could have been dealing with somebody with narcissistic tendencies, I'll call it that, very one-sided, very on these terms, these conditions. But it's also inner reflection that needs to happen. When we look at a mirror, we're mirroring back to ourselves, right? We see ourselves in the mirror. This is understanding, you know, maybe somebody in your life, the two of you are mirroring each other, and it's like that irritates you with that person. You do it, it irritates them. So it's kind of like this little bit of a push and pull dynamic, but it's also history in some way could be repeating itself. It doesn't have to be in a situation, but it's about learning from those, only seeing it from one side. You know, in a situation or a communication, they always say, like, there's your side, their side, and then somewhere in the middle is the truth. The truth lies in the middle of it all. Because both people are bringing in their perception to the situation, and there's a need to compromise on a particular event so that this missing you is no longer I miss you, but let's find a way to work through this together, versus living in an old, outdated pattern of something that happened from 10 years ago that we're bringing back up to the surface, right? So I don't necessarily feel like there's resentment, but I feel like there's a lot of lingo going back and forth, or some come together, separate kind of dynamic that's happening. So with this choose, Spirit, what is this for Gemini in the next 2 weeks? Spirit, just it's something to think about, right? And there you are, Gemini, the Lovers, the Magician, 7 of Pentacles, like feeling like you, what do I want to call this? I'm hearing I thought I had done enough. Maybe feeling like what you have tried to cultivate hasn't quite hit its mark yet. High Priestess, and it's like, who knows? Who knows if it ever really will, is what I'm hearing. And it's like, how do I, find a workaround to this particular situation? Because I know for the most part, Spirit is saying, I know for the most part what I want in this, but how do I build upon that Seven of Pentacles to get to the 10? It seems to be a little confusing. Addiction, restraints. I feel like if nothing else here, when I see this missing you, there's an emotional longing for something here, but the communication to that emotional longing is not being expressed in a way that can be articulated in the here and now. It's going back into an old way of doing things. Okay, so I hope that's making sense. It's almost like instead of somebody coming out right and telling you, you hurt my feelings and this is why, they could be passive aggressive with you and expecting you to just know. Well, if they don't tell you and you don't have good communication, how do you genuinely know what is happening or what is going on, right? So that's creating blocks and restraints around the issue at hand itself. Okay, so again, I hope that's making sense for you. Seven of Pentacles, Spirit. It's like an attraction, teasing, like temptation. I feel like in some of this is speaking back to, like, it's like her tongue is on fire, right? Like liar, liar, pants on fire kind of thing. If you withhold, how do you come to like truthful, honest conclusions to something so that it can be remedied? And this dragonfly is like the needing to know so that we can adapt, so that we can change, so that we can compromise. When we have the facts at hand, we can then work with that to change the way things are moving. With Mars is getting ready to go into Sagittarius. We've got Mercury hanging out with Scorpio, I believe, at this time. And we've got the retrograde getting ready to happen. So it's like, Spirit's saying, as I say that to you in that way, that it's a lot of bouncing back and forth on things. And it's like, again, if we could just sit down, have one solid conversation around what the issue is, we could find a way to resolve that. Okay. I do think in the next 2 weeks, though, Gemini, there will be some kind of resolution to this. And as I say that, there comes the Six of Swords. It's the rite of passage, the ability to move on to calmer waters, ascending hope, the Emperor, stepping into your power. And I don't really want to say control, because I think the control aspect has been problematic in whatever this is. Nine of Wands and the Queen of Pentacles comes out. So this is taking us back to something that is, Spirit is saying nurturable. I don't know if that's a real word, but it is now. That we can nurture and we can become steady and paced in what it is that we are leaning into, that is going to be much more practical. I said about what being practical and something else, logical about certain things in this reading for you. Nine of Wands is the defenses are up, the Ten of Swords. There you are, Gemini. And the Ace of Swords, the truth. Again, somebody's defensive, somebody is hurt. There's the truth in the middle of it all. People, both sides of a situation, need to drop the guard, leave the past in the past, because if we continue to drag the baggage from the past, we're going to create more baggage in the future, right? Do you really want to carry all of that weight forward with you into something that should not be as complicated? It's a learning experience for you and this person. So this Six of Swords, Spirit, old school and passion. It's, again, like, do we want to take those thoughts? Because there's a desire here. Again, missing you, looking at pictures, I want to make new memories with you. I want to move on from this trial, this tribulation, this situation. But we cannot, it's like somebody really wants to just kind of load the boat. Six of Swords, right? Load the boat with all of the old shit from before. And it's like, this is a part of life that it cannot come to. We're dropping things. This is the year of 9. This is massive endings for all of us in many, many ways in our lives. We're closing out these cycles. And it's like, it's almost like somebody wants a free pass to carry some old hurt. What? Why? Why would you want to carry that forward with you? How does that help you nurture and grow what you're moving towards? Or supposed to be moving towards, right? Because it can weigh you down. Queen of Pentacles. What is this about, Spirit? Queen of Pentacles. Talking. shock. I think at some point here, whether Gemini, it's you that's been holding back or another person, some kind of communication does come in that I'm going to say heals and makes more sense than what you've gotten in the past. It is going to change the way this dynamic works out. And it's going to allow both sides of it to be able to move on from a particular situation. It's kind of like lightning strikes. It's that aha kind of moment. What happens in the long term here, Spirit? Commitment, completion of a cycle, Hammer, you know, whatever the blowing kiss, yeah, see, fairness and love. Love will be returned to a situation. It's giving and receiving, right? It is working on things. I do think that whatever the situation is, there is a great unconditional loving aspect to repair whatever this is, but it's going to require effort from both sides. Needing, again, I can't emphasize enough, if you want this to move on and move forward, and there's a lot of love to be had, which I think there is, there's a lot of this longing for, right? This connection. Again, it could be your partner, it could be work, it could be a friend, it could be your kids, it could be lots of things, right? The ability to make those changes definitely exist here with this situation, but it's going to require legitimate dedication and commitment to making that happen for the greater good of everybody involved. So there you have it. All right, Gemini, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that this was helpful to you. I'm sending you all so much love. Personal reads, again, are open and available. That information is in the description box below and the About section of the page. I will see you all soon. Take care. Sending you love. Bye-bye.